It's always more than that.
It's more than just white supremacy, and it's more than just capitalism, white supremacy, and misogynoir. It's just stupid ass It's also stupid ass messaging and a whole laundry list of other shit. Fuck.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays for Thursday, November 14th, 2024. I was making a joke about starting. Shut up, Ruin. Don't do it. Don't do it. I will sing you to the soup kitchens on January 20th. Don't make me. Don't make me do it.
Right.
Anywho, it's Thursday. Damn. I forget. It's been so long since we've done an actual podcast.
Right?
Because
we're halfway through the month of November tomorrow.
I know this is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and I do apologize for all of that. Of course, I being
you are apologizing for linear time,
for rest.
Yes,
we're not going to do that.
No, we're not going to do that. Shut up, Major. Keep talking.
Shut up. Keep talking.
Mm-hmm. Said like a black parent.
Shut up. Keep talking.
Right. Shut up on that. Keep talking about something else.
Oh my goodness.
Say something else.
Shit. I am one of y'all's Marcus Major Linux Summers, twitch.tv/Major Linux. Of course, I am joined this week and every week by Kev. It's your boy Kev in the building.
I'm gonna be working in the soup kitchen, but not the soup kitchen on the line. I'm gonna be in my city.
Yeah, that's right. I've yet to determine what soup kitchen people are needing to do. Damn it, nope, I can't say. I really feel bad about saying it, given the first topic tonight. But damn,
hey, it is what it is. Keep going.
Yeah, it really fucking sucks, bro. Of course, we're joined by the Sunflower Sovereign himself. It's Cinziak in the building.
Hey.
Uh-oh. Got pinged about not organizing fair. Of course, this is Tech Talk Thursday, where we talk about this week's tech and gaming news. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a lot less. I have no clue how tonight is going to go. I never do. But this week we've got some odd text messages coming to Black students all across the country. We've got some Amazon news, that things that Amazon cannot do. Learning a little bit more about the upcoming Trump presidency. And apparently a very, very special organization is telling us where the hate-filled games are on Steam. All that and much more on this week's episode of Tech Talk Thursdays. We're going to start off with Black people across the country have been getting racist texts about slave plantations. Black people throughout the country, more than 20 states, have been getting racist text messages that order them to report to a plantation for slave labor. According to reporting by CNN and numerous other outlets, the text referenced slave catchers and picking cotton, in addition to warning the recipients that they will be searched upon arrival. These hate-filled messages have been received by both kids and adults. The texts appear to be targeting Black and brown individuals, including students. New York Attorney General Letitia James said various AG's offices from other states have also issued statements. I think they said that these text messages have been reaching kids as young as 8.
Yeah.
Many of the messages were sent through TextNow, a free app that provides phone numbers, texting, and calling services. TextNow told CNN that it believes that this is a widespread coordinated attack. The service lets people sign up anonymously and send texts via randomly generated phone numbers. It says it has been busy rapidly disabling the related accounts. The company is also working alongside our industry partners to uncover more details and continue to monitor patterns to actively block any new accounts attempting to send those messages. So it begins, gentlemen. So it begins.
Oh, it begins.
You know, there's a part of me that just goes, I was expecting it high key to be worse.
You know what? Yeah. Or at least like it just wait until he took office. But I guess at this point, when you have a lame duck presidency that's been fucking lame duck since October 2023, at least, yeah, I guess people were just emboldened to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I mean, I feel like the text messages are like, considering that the last time we were at this point, people were showing up with literal weaponry in like their state capitol buildings. Because let's not forget that that happened across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, there is like, they set this into cruise control. I will say the coordination is giving 4chan, but other than that, I'm like, oh.
But given the fact that it's been sent to black and brown people, again, I don't know if any white people ever got this message.
Why would they?
But that's so. I mean, given that thought process, right? It's hard to say that, like, in its coordination, that it was like they sent them to random numbers. It's almost like a list of numbers from people who knew it was going to go to a specific type of target, which means somebody had to visually identify a person and say, yes, that is a black person and I have their number. I should submit it.
Yeah.
That's
or at
what
least
I'm
had
getting
some
at.
way to get that or at least had some way to get that information somewhere.
Oh, yeah. But see, for children, like, I'm wondering how they got that information. I mean, I can actually, even if I were to look at my voter registration, I imagine like my shit, or at least not through public records. I don't think my ethnicity is there, but again, it's not that hard to suss out through all the information I give on the internet that is publicly available that you could not figure out who I was.
Mm-hmm.
Children is a different thing altogether. But also at the same time too, like, I don't know. I feel like, like, again, my son is 8. I'm not giving him a phone that has cell service. I'm sorry. That's just not a thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
He's got FaceTime. If he need to call somebody, use FaceTime, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is it. You can only call an iPhone. Well, technically you could call an Android device, but you don't know anybody with an Android device right now. Everyone says, completely unrelated to this, I just started the process to purchase a handgun. I need to also start said process. But then I learned how much gun costs. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not flush with cash, but I am better now than I was a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, when I asked somebody about how much their handgun costs, I was like, that's a lot. I can't do that right now.
And then of course storage and
yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I got something to store it in. I mean, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if I have to specifically have a certain thing, but I do have a safe I can put it in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was told $1,200. I'm like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I could buy an iPhone for that. Just chuck it at somebody.
And I fear that price is gonna go up.
Would it though?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be good gun control. These guns just become too expensive to own.
Let's see. That's through legitimate channels.
I love
see,
how
that's
you
what
said that's through legitimate. You said that's through legitimate channels, with the input, with the very not at all subtle implication. Major, you don't got to do that.
I'm just saying.
No. Major got to do that.
Yeah, I have to. I'm sorry.
No, as in no, like that's through legitimate channels. You don't gotta do that.
No. Major does.
No. See, I said that through the idea when Major said, "Oh, that's probably be in the favor of gun control," and I say, "That's through."
But see, that's what they always. That's what they always say
legitimate.
is the reason why they don't do gun control laws. But the criminals could get them anyway.
But that's keeping. But that's true. But there's also a reason why we would lock our doors, to the alarms on, to kind of say, well, keep old Joe Blow from just saying, well, I'm just gonna walk up in the house, as opposed to a savvy criminal who could neutralize that because they're a savvy criminal. They could get through anyway. The problem is to keep Joe Blow from going to a place and buying it and saying, yeah, I got a gun now.
I mean, I just heard you can just give somebody a gun.
Yeah.
You just give it to them, and it's legally theirs. And
it's legally. Yeah, it's
like anything else.
It was a present.
It's like that PS3. It's like that. What was that PS4? Ad, like the PS4 ad they did during E3. This is how you share a game on PS4. This is how you share a gun. Whatever you do, though, don't run the serial number of the gun on a corporate computer. Don't do that.
Mm-mm. He speaks He speaks that from experience.
Not me. I ain't do it.
No. You saw that happen.
I didn't either, but I heard from somebody else who did do it.
From somebody else.
And they got called up HR the next day.
Mm-hmm. Be like, so, and that's something we always tell people. First of all, if you're gonna do that, A, don't do it connected to the network. B, don't do it on your work computer ever. Like, don't do it. Matter of fact, don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, look up a serial number for a gun. By all means, do that.
But just don't do it.
Don't do it at work.
Just don't do it at work. Period. Don't do it on your phone. Don't do it on your phone.
Not in a house, not with a mouse, none of that.
No, please do.
Not in a box.
Want to be clear. If you get a gun, look that shit serial number up. You don't know if it's got a body.
At home.
But do it at home.
At home. Yeah. I've fallen down the rabbit hole of people doing magnet fishing and finding pew-pews and then being like, oh, I gotta call the police. And then there's always a police person coming up and being like, yeah, we'll run it. Oh, cool, thanks. We'll run it. I don't know how many. I can't tell you. I would be so funny to see how many murders and stuff that were like crimes that were solved just because some dude was just bored on a Saturday and decided to do magnet fish.
So you mean to tell me there are free guns in the water?
Yeah.
I'm going magnet fishing, baby.
Mm-hmm. Now unless it caught a bite. Now unless it was in a liquor store hole up.
Look, if I don't have to shoot it, nobody will have to know. And I feel like by the time it gets to the point where I need to shoot my gun, yeah, we are already past whatever police investigations need to happen.
You don't buy a pew pew. That's the whole thing though. You don't buy a pew pew as a deterrent.
Apparently, that's the reason why we still have nuclear weapons, just to keep other people from shooting theirs.
That's it. We don't have it so much for the thing. It's here.
What if they just don't work? What if nuclear weapons don't work?
That would be funny though.
What if they don't work? Is that the question?
Yes. Like, what if the nuclear material just doesn't work and we've been holding on to nuclear weapons for so long?
As a deterrent, that's
now. Granted, they make new ones,
oh,
so
yeah,
there's a non-zero chance that a nuclear missile could fire and nuke somebody.
Yeah, just fresh.
It's just the fresh ones.
I can't believe I'm hearing. I don't know. Same, bro.
Yeah, look, we went from texting random teenagers about going to plantations to nuclear arms deterrents.
What if nukes go stale? Let's discuss that.
Let's unpack it.
That's a tech conversation.
I will.
It's a technology conversation. I'm sorry. To be fair, Ruin threw us off by talking about purchasing a gun. And we just went up the line. The biggest fucking gun, a nuclear missile.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as I say, I think they keep them fresh.
Look, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
I mean,
why? Why is this the thing?
I mean, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with that. You know what's funny? When we talking about missiles, since we're talking about missiles, I ended up watching like that one scene in like Crimson Tide with like Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington going back and forth to each other. And then it's like, and then like Denzel's going like, "Captain of the boat, I want you to arrest Captain right now." And then it was like, "Sir, please. Now, Tom!" And it was that one thing, like, because it was just like that. We got to fire missiles. And then the XO was like, "Nah, I don't know about that." Captain said, "If you can't do it, I'll find somebody that can." XO's like, "You wildin'. You under arrest. No, you under arrest. Cop, get this man." All I can say, "Captain, could you please?" "Nah, you're getting a little slow, Cobb. Hurry up."
Now, what would really suck though is the person who ordered the missile to be fired in the first place. Like you getting pointed at, like you getting pointed at with a gun and said, "Fire missile."
What, really? What? Hold on, we need to double check. And it was like, we just need to double check to make sure that the message was the message.
He is pointing a gun at me. Fire missile.
It's like, but seriously,
sir, we're having a mutiny down here.
Sir, did you actually say that? Because we don't know. We're not looking at you. We just know that there was a message, but we need to make sure that that message is right. Could you ask somebody else to tell me?
He is about to rob me of my Jordans. Fire the missile.
No, hold on.
Not the butters.
I gotta double check. And it was all he wanted to do was like, "Yo, could we just double check to make sure that it's actually the message that we get, instead of somebody just being like, 'Hey, you might want to fire a missile,' maybe kind of."
He has my Yeezys. Fire the missile.
Oh, well, see, then that's the problem. That was your first mistake. You had Yeezys.
So, like, let me guess. Did they also take the keys to your Cybertruck?
Fire the missile.
he took a Cybertruck. Well, that's on you, brother. Them are very poorly unreliable cars. Don't worry. Matter of fact, you might end up getting the car back when it breaks down.
No, look, they fire the missile, but it hits the Cybertruck instead. Target hit. You hit my Cybertruck. Like we said what we said.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't start it.
You said fire the missile. You didn't tell us where to aim. I'm just being clear.
Was he not in the Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
You gotta be specific. You gotta be Pacific Ocean. You know.
Damn. Anywho.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like this was it's been stated that it's been a coordinated attack. And it feels like there was like. It does get that 4chan energy in so much as like, yeah, a whole bunch of random people got a whole bunch of random phone numbers of a whole bunch of random black people. Just what I'm saying. Or not even random, not random, because it feels like in order for it to be directly targeted to black and brown people, somebody would have to visually identify these people. And somebody went through a whole bunch of work to try to match numbers with like social media or something, or numbers were just voluntarily given of black people.
Or someone just had access to the demographic information somehow.
Yeah, I forgot there was hackings that took place.
And the reason why I say that is because I remember getting a lot of various stuff around the time of the election and text messages and things from, various calls and texting banks and all this other stuff. And I remember specifically that they used a particular spelling because it was a clerical error on my license that I did not take the time to correct until I was just like, I'm not correcting this after the elections are over. Because I want absolutely zero bullshit when I go to this poll.
I still want to know if I can remove my number from the voter rolls.
And I got that information. I got those text messages and I'm like, okay, so I don't think all of these people who are texting me are related to whatever these things are, but apparently they are able to at least acquire, hey, we have like we have X amount of public information that we can find about you to go and get this number to then send text messages and whatnot to you. So I'm like, all right. It's not outside the rule. Like, I think there is an assumption that information about people in general, down to their demographics, is harder to get than it is.
Yeah.
And it just simply is not, especially not when people are just like, hi, welcome to the newest social media platform. So tell us a bit about where you grew up and who your favorite relative is. And people are just out here, and I'm just like, y'all don't learn y'all don't learn nothing.
A nan nutter.
I saw a meme going around on, I think it was Bluesky, where it was like, open up ChatGPT and ask it to draw a picture based off of the information it has on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious, so I did it. Not Bluesky, but ChatGPT was like, yo, dog, we don't really know you. I was like, that's great, thank you. I thought I was gonna like write Python. And it's like, yeah, this is all we know, Python. You've only looked up Python since you've used this thing. All right, let's move on. We still got stuff to cover. Speaking of Bluesky, Bluesky hits 15 million users this week. Because I guess it took a presidential election to realize that Twitter was bad for some people.
No, I don't think it was I don't think it was necessarily election, but there was something that was coincidental.
Yeah.
In terms of time with the election, and that I think was the driver. Do we remember what that was?
No, because I'm not on Twitter.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, ish, right?
It's you didn't have to be on the platform to know exactly what we're talking about. It's a feature that was
that unblocked, that block thing not working.
No, not the fact that it's working, but the fact that they drew in the fangs from it.
Oh.
They kind of lessened its impact. They kind of watered down the block feature.
Oh.
So for those of you
I
who
feel like that was like 2 weeks ago for me. So I'm like, oh, that couldn't have been it. Nah.
No, I mean, 2 weeks ago, I think would have been right around that time. That's kind of the,
it does make sense. You're right.
Yeah.
It's just, my brain was like, yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. No, it's clearly something else.
Right.
well,
But it actually I think it was a week ago. I think it was.
Yeah.
Same
right
week.
around the time
Yeah.
that it hit.
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching at home or listening, there was in breaking the whole ass law, by the way, while we're here,
Right.
or at least the rules are posting things on the Apple Store.
Yeah.
Twitter changed the blocking feature so that if you block someone on Twitter, you are no longer, like normally when you block people before they made this change, they couldn't see you. So you would go to the profile and there would just be a message there that says, you are blocked by this person. You cannot read their tweets. They changed the feature so that people could go to there and there would still be a notification that says you are blocked. So instead of it just being like, none of this information about this person is visible to you, the information's present, but in a read-only mode fashion.
Yes.
And people were like, absolutely the fuck not.
Because you can still, then you can still like you can still like screenshot. You can still,
and all of this other stuff. And a lot of people have people blocked. Some of it is obviously like simple social things, like I don't fuck with this person, blocked. But some of it is also like
safety.
This person is a stalker, and I do not
Yeah.
need them to know anything about where I am, what I'm doing, or why. And they just went and changed that whole feature.
Right. So then it makes it easier for that person to still maintain contact, not like informed, but not direct contact, more like indirect contact with that person. And in certain, like just so you say, in sins, saying it's like in certain degrees, it's like I don't want to see this person's content ever, and I don't want to see them in a blocked. It's more or less like, okay, now these people can still have access to me in what I'm doing, where I'm at, and what I got going on.
Right.
And that's something that's like,
Or even information about who's interacting with me, all of that stuff. And it's kind of like, no, absolutely not.
So then they can be like, cool, I will just go ahead and pump information. I'll try to pump information from the other people or glean information from like reposts. Yeah. Or quote tweets or whatever. So it's like, it's not really beneficial for people in their safety. So, that was definitively that was like, for some people, that was the last straw, coupled with the fact that the election happened. So was that like so many things happened in the election? It's not one singular thing that we can point to. It's a multiple comedy of errors. And so it's a multiple like laundry list of errors that just so happened to coincide with the election. And so that was like, people were leaving because of that. And then also people were also leaving because of the election. So it was just massive wave, which then I don't know if that's on the story or not, about how many numbers Bluesky got.
Yep, 15 million.
Okay.
And and it's like, as in like 1 million users a day.
I'm sorry,
like
it's at 15 million.
Because I remember I seen the big one that said it was 10, and then it was like, I think that surpassed that. People were like, dude, 10 million, that's pretty good. Oh wait, what do you mean? What do you mean we're rounding the horn to 5 million? What do you mean? 15 million? What do you mean? So yeah.
Because people were absolutely positively trying to go.
Right.
Yeah,
and then, although I feel like this warrants a kind of reminder about things, about curating your experiences, because as I understand about federated services, it's not like you can just post anything that you want to and people can't see it or what have you. Like, right?
Well,
it's
Bluesky
like one of those. There's it is a very different thing, but I think there are like it's that kind of like weird thing that comes up, and I'm watching like the things that people are talking about as they're transitioning. You're just like, oh, like access to people and the way that that works, what's visible and what isn't visible, is different here on this service than it was previously, and I have to get used to it.
Yeah, I think I think
people being able to see things that you like.
Right. I think that is Blue Sky's moderation and not federation.
I think it's one of those. Well, I mean, I think it's one of those people are going to have to learn about that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a very interesting learning curve when it comes to what isn't visible as a baseline for that. But I will also say the moderation stuff, the way that you can just put together a list of being like, I don't want to fuck with these people, and if I add anybody to this list in the future, I don't want to fuck with them, and it will just not make you do those individually, is great.
Oh, so in case anybody ever wants to know if you are on one of those lists, you can go to a site called Clear Sky, and it will tell you what list you're on. And I found out I was on 2 block lists.
Sounds like you were doing something right, Mage.
Yes, because they were for people who are pro-Hamas, aka supporters of the Palestinians, and third-party voters or people not voting. So, not a liberal.
Yeah.
So,
and I was so happy to be a part of those lists.
Like Bishop Cat Williams said, if you ain't got no haters in your life, what are you doing?
Listen, I'm so serious.
You need to get at least 5 haters on your roster right now.
I cannot be more serious when I say I don't think I'm ever going to use that site, because I straight up, unless it's like something hard, unless I'm starting to get death threats in my DMs or whatever.
It was, yeah, I would.
Y'all can be like, y'all can hate from the front yard while I am sipping this pumpkin spice latte from a locally owned cafe. Absolutely not, please.
Now are you talking? No, when you talking about you're not using that, are you talking about Twitter or are you talking about Blue Sky?
Clear Sky.
Oh, Clear Sky. Okay.
Like not knowing what list you're on.
If people got me blocked, then I know.
Yeah,
then,
like for me, I could care less, but it was because so many people talked about it.
You were like,
I wanted to see what it was.
Yeah.
So when I found out that I was on those block lists, I was like, damn. That's it though.
Yeah, you do something right.
That's like shout out to Ruby. Shout out to Ruby.
Ruby Rose?
Yes. I couldn't remember if it was Ruby Rose or not. Shout out to Ruby Rose.
I love Ruby Rose.
She put out a TikTok saying that she went to Instagram.
Oh yeah, because you told me.
And she searched
I saw that same video.
she went on Donald Trump's Instagram to see how many of her mutuals were following.
Yeah.
And she said she had 26. She was expecting like a couple, but she had 26.
Yeah, I only had like what? I only had like 6.
2.
And I got rid of them. You got 2?
Who?
Oof.
I had 3.
I had 6.
I had 3, and it was one of those. The 3 that they were, oh, of course you would be here. You're a person who regularly does political commentary. It was just like under the desk news. Like, I expect you, of course you're going to be here.
The fact that you're following under the desk news gives me pause, but okay.
It's that you do it until you follow them and then you follow them
because under the desk news is going to be there on Christmas Day, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Christmas. Oh yeah, Christmas.
I feel like they should be there on Thanksgiving.
No, Black Friday.
Black Friday. Because they were the ones who were like, "Oh, you can turn off your social media if it's stressing you out." Like,
it's not the point. Not the point. Like, not the point. I would never say that. I had me like my one good, 2 good messages, and my whole thing was like, take a breath, take a breathe, grieve, cry, thank from it, and then come and let's get back into it. Let's have the conversation. Let's take that time and then next year we back at it.
'Cause
Love
I want
you.
that. I want that anger. I want that fire. I want like if I feel like I'm having a good day and like I forgot about Izzy. No, I want to be reminded of why I need to stay fucking angry at Izzy.
Because remember what I told you, Major. I said don't let the fire burn consume you. You know, let the coal smolder, but don't let the fire go out. But don't stoke it too hard that it burns you and burns everything that you are. Sometimes you got to be like. Sometimes you got to stay a little mad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to keep. Sometimes you got to. Sometimes you got to keep a little mad right here.
Like it baffles me when people are like, "Oh man, like this violence will get normal." I said, "No, it's not. This ain't right. This should not be real." And the fact that we're over 400 days into it.
Yep.
Oh no, this ain't right.
and y'all are capitulating with a system that's literally let this thing going. And y'all are like, okay, cool. Another person's gonna tap in, but tap in big. Okay, there we go.
So I'm going to leave this comment here because I think we're going to revisit this topic more than once when we talk about our very real feelings about having to exist in the world, because that's what we do here in some form or another every week. Things that I think it's important to point out, because I've had to run into this a few times when talking to people about stuff, because I'm at that point of people being like, what are we supposed to do and why is this stuff important in all of this? And a lot of those people are a lot younger than me. So I'm explaining things like, I know that you don't want things to be political, but they are, because this is what that means, right? You have, like when people think about politics, they're just like, this shouldn't necessarily have to be like a matter of whether people are sitting in offices and writing down notes on paper and signing things or whatever. And I'm like, it's not about the paper. It is the people that you are riding the bus next to and that you are buying things from, selling things to, that you see at the grocery store or that you drive by on the street, have ideas about what people should and shouldn't have. How our tree should be used, how our money should be spent, who should be able to live in a building and be protected from the elements. People have thoughts about all of that. And those things, that dynamic about how you feel about your neighbors is the definition of politics. Like, that's where that starts. And that turns into all of these other structures that we have about what rules we have between each other. What happens if someone breaks one of those rules? What do we do then, right? But before you get all of that, you need to understand that's where all that comes from. So we had to have that talk, right? I'm in this place. There is this thing where I have to explain to people, just because I'm able to be very emotionally regulated when I am talking to you about these things that I'm deeply passionate about, does not mean that I am not sitting here pissed off and ready to punch people. That emotional regulation took practice. A lot of practice. And quite honestly, y'all don't want to be here if the wheels come off.
Yep. That's one thing.
So,
that's one thing I always like to say. You just because you don't do politics will do you. And and you don't think this world ain't. You can go a full day without having anything political happen to you. Is like, that's essentially you being lied to. That's you lying to yourself. And,
so for me, it's not a matter of like, am I angry about things or not? It is, don't how do I say this? Don't let the current climate put a cap on the compassion that you feel for everyone else. That is that's where I'm at with this. Because I think there is, when people say things about being angry about the state of the world, I think it also comes with some expectations about how you express that stuff. And like some of that stuff is just, I am never going to be that person. I'm just not. But that doesn't mean I'm not angry right along with y'all, even if it doesn't express itself the same way. For example, the way that it's about to express myself for the next month and a half is, give me a moment while I go and get a book. I feel like it's probably a bit dense of a read considering what I just read, but we're here. So, today's book title, this is the cover of the book. It is called How to Go Mad Without Losing Your Mind.
I just heard of that book probably about a month or so ago. I forgot who was talking about it on TikTok.
But basically, it talks about kind of like existing as a very specific to Black people, existing as a Black person who is also a creative of some kind, so like an artist and all that other stuff, and how the experience of the world, especially if you care anything about what's happening in it and what you express because of it, is in some ways a form of madness. And it talks about how to basically, how as a creative person you're supposed to navigate this world and exist without letting it destroy you. So that's where I'm at with this. Most of this because I'm like, not that it hasn't been real, but there are going to be dimensions to it that I haven't had to deal with up until now. And let's just say I have spent the better part of a year at this point regularly being in the gym. And I feel like that is going to be extremely useful in ways that I really don't want it to be.
Felt.
And also, because I think even for Major, right? When we talk about anger, when we talk about rage, when we talk about let me not become comfortable in the world as it is, and let there always be something that spurs me on to change it, part of that, and this is where a lot of people are at the moment, and it's just kind of the process, exhausting as it is like, that rage that you feel is very fair. That the target's over here though. Places that you were pointing it, everywhere but over there. You have pointed it to your left, you have pointed it to your right, you have shot yourself and your neighbor in the foot. That is not helping you. And it's not helping them either. I'm going to be specific for a second. Dear everyone who has ever said, hey, here's the number to ICE just in case. No.
What day did they go into work?
Huh?
What day did they go into work?
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
No, now.
I would say in the middle of Thanksgiving
Right now.
dinner. Like it
No,
like
right now.
to give them the imagery of splitting them from their families.
Correct.
Because it's
Like I want that, like right when they are sitting to dinner in the middle of grace.
Because this is when we say like, how can you build community how can you build community when you are the person that wants to see other people being hurt in order for them to
Because you mad your person lost.
Because you mad your person lost.
I feel like some of it is being upset
lot
that
of comedy of errors.
I think part of it is that, but
Right.
I hate that I have to be this person every time this conversation comes up, but
Yeah.
we're here. So there is a part of it where it is the fine balance of never minding the particular, like the results of the election are like kind of ostensibly the point here, but also not really. It is hey, there is a group of people that have voted or conducted themselves in a way that is going to be harmful to a very big group of people for X reason. And there is a part of every human, I feel, that has any kind of sense of justice that is kind of like, something, if you are going to do things that hurt people, I hope at some point something teaches you why that is a bad idea. And that's there. I don't have anything to say about that because I feel like that's a very human emotion to have. To take that and then go, we should call the police. when it is 1:12 p.m. or 13:12 for those of you who do things in military time, hours in this house at all times? Absolutely not. Also, I am not a person who subscribes to the idea that every single person in a group every single person who identifies as part of a group should be punished for what specific people in that group do. We already have white supremacy doing that to everybody as it is. We don't need that in the house too. So whatever we're doing with that, knock that off. Go have a nap. And then report on Thanksgiving Day. Right after Grace.
Should they get dragged out ice style?
Huh?
Should they get dragged out ice style?
No.
Here's the thing. If I said that specifically, that would be the antithesis of what I'm asking for, which is kind of the point. So, like, it's
so they
it's
voluntarily
that. It's kind of
leave
like,
after Grace.
It's more about stern insistence and then being like a hand on the shoulder and be like, come on.
No, it's just kind of like, come on, come on out the house. Come on out the house, Craig. Come on out the house.
Come on. No, put the turkey leg down.
Okay, just so people understand what we're doing here, because I feel like it does warrant some context. I feel like I've said in some places that I am giving people until January 20th, specifically liberals, to get their shit together, get whatever crying, boo-hooing, and just general fuckery that they're doing right now out of the system, so that way on January 20th we can get to work on whether it is fighting Trump's agenda, fighting fascism that's already here, that's already been here. It's not new. It's just now affecting these people, and those who are this people close in the proximity to this.
Do we need to talk about Google searches?
I'm surprised those have not. Well, no, one did make it. One, I think I did see it, and I don't remember if I included it last week. But yeah, about people who were Googling how to change their vote. Or what really got me was, yo, did Joe Biden drop out?
Last week, the day, within 48 hours of the within 48 hours of the election, right after election day, they were just like, oh, by the way, and it's kind of like, what?
What do you mean, by the way?
I think the one thing I did have was people on Twitter Googling for polling places, but using Harris and Trump. As if you need a polling place for a specific candidate, which seemed dumb. But when they Google polling place Harris, they would get a Google map.
But it was
when
things
you Google polling place Trump, you don't. And it's because Harris is a city, a town in multiple U.S. states.
So you had that, and then you had people Googling what tariffs were.
It was.
To be honest, I still don't even know. But all I know is fuck us. That's
do you actually not know?
No, I really do not know.
Okay, this is a really simple thing. Let's say Kevin, let's say Kevin's Wakanda, right?
Yep, I am Wakanda.
And I'm going to, unfortunately, for the sake of our example, just be the United States. Kevin and I decide that we're going to trade back and forth or whatever. There are taxes on that trade because Kevin has to get the people of Wakanda to go and plant the things, build the things, and assemble the things. We have to pay for those. And those things come with taxes that support Wakanda whenever we sell them overseas or whatever. So there is this, hey, we're going to sell this to you, but just like normal sales tax at the store, there's going to be an extra tax added on this of let's say 10%. Let's say that that's the number, right? So that's what happens. Once I get those things over here, it'll probably be I'm going to take that 10% and figure out how to pass it on to consumers because that's how capitalism works for everything.
Naturally.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Simple things. tariffs usually low or at least fairly balanced as long as both of those companies are mutually doing well, can increase with how hard things are to produce and all this other stuff, or if there's a high demand for it and all that other stuff. Normal economic shit.
More often like 1 to 2%, like minimum.
Like, right?
And that's still, even with like the 1%, that's still thousands of dollars. It's still a lot of money.
Because you have to like trade things for a whole nation's worth of people. However,
Right.
Let's say that Kevin and I are beefing. It is not an uncommon thing for Kevin to be like, well, I don't like your bitch ass. So instead of it being 1 to 2%, we're going to make that 7 to 8%. And then for me being petty to be like, okay, but you do know you need these 5 things that I own that only grow in this country. So if you do 8, I'm about to hit you with 10. How about that, right? Now imagine the whole world doing that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And what this man said was, we're going to take tariffs and make them 20% in general for things outside of the United States, except specifically for China. If we do that, if you have any trade with China, the plan is, as currently on paper, to make that 60%. So like, whatever you wanted to pay and
tariff on China right now.
No,
like that. No, there isn't.
That's an embargo. Meaning we don't buy specific things from there because we have trade embargo on these particular things.
What was the thing with the EVs though that Biden was doing?
Oh, see, they don't. See, it's the whole thing that they're not buying. They don't want to buy Chinese EVs because that will also like stymie the American market because of the auto companies. So as the auto companies will be developing new EVs, China is basically, it says, well, we got EVs now.
Now keep in mind,
these EVs are on the lot now, and that would definitely stymie the market. It's the same thing what happened with like Huawei and ZTE phones because that thing.
So here's the now here's the larger problem. Normally when we deal with tariffs, they're on like a handful of things. Hey, if you buy these things, these are more expensive. Everything else is fine.
No,
right.
This man said, yes.
I was right.
What?
The tariff rate on electric vehicles under Section 301 will increase from 25% to 100% in 2024.
Here's the problem. Like this is the thing I was about to explain, so I'm glad you mentioned that. A lot of times, tariffs are localized to a handful of things. Mm-hmm. Buying metal, buying certain types of produce, chemicals,
right?
Certain made vehicles, specialty equipment for farming, for flying, for transit, all of that stuff. This man said, instead of it being maybe a really high percentage for a handful of things, it's about to be 60% for everything.
Everything
that comes from that place and from other places too. Just a lateral, here is the number. Everything is going to be 20% more expensive for you to bring here. So if you're trying to import stuff for whatever reason and you are a US-based company, whoops.
Yep. So basically means if you have outsourced your stuff,
you're about to have
China,
a bad time.
And then you bring it back, that's 20% on top of that. If you're buying material, if you're a US based company and you buy your materials to make your US made things from China, that's going to be more expensive. Ergo, that's going to be, and the whole claim is, well, that's going to invigorate America to be able to do the things on its own. But see, the problem is industries take time. A lot of time. Buildings have to be built. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's time versus the demand that we have. Now, let's talk about, first is the demand, and also just like the space that we have in the US, where we're building buildings that people don't live in because we can't use that to grow things. So let's talk about things that are going to be impacted by this that are completely innocuous. Do you enjoy drinking coffee? Because we don't grow a lot of that here.
Mm-mm. No. If at all, really.
How do you feel about avocado?
Mm-hmm. That lovely avocados from Mexico. Yeah.
So we're just gonna eat a whole bunch of corn.
So that's about to be a whole thing where we're going to see the prices of things spike dramatically, but that's because people don't understand relationships to things in the world, or me having to explain to somebody, well, you know, they said that they're going to remove caps from overtime. And I'm just like, let me help you. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, they told companies, if you have like full-time employees, you have to insure them. And you want to know what they did? They took as many people as they could and made it part-time. If companies have to pay extra things, they usually just pass that on to you, which means this thing that you bought for $6 is about to be $13 whole dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They will throw you under that bus every time. They will throw you in front of the train every hour it runs. I don't know if y'all don't understand this.
What gets me about the argument of not taxing overtime is the fact that Trump has also gone and said that he wants to get rid of overtime.
Mm-hmm. Well, like,
what's 0% tax on zero?
But it's also things like, hey, you have uncapped overtime. Your company has to let you work overtime. Now let's talk about where these tariffs come into play, because if things become really expensive for companies to make and maintain and produce, that means that they're not going to want to pay people more money than they absolutely have to. And if you're a full-time person there, overtime for what? Where? For what reason? Because it's either you're going to be trying to do 50 people's worth of work with 2 people and they're going to try to outsource you with ChatGPT, or they're going to say you get absolutely no overtime whatsoever.
Man, to think that somebody could have solved this problem if only they would have said arms embargo now.
Mm-hmm.
If only she could have said, hey, Joe, we need to do it. And this is where, like as Sidney said, I always try to make sure I point people's anger in the right direction. I will tell you again. I will tell everybody till I'm blue in the face. Do not blame voters for what's happened. Blame your politicians. Blame the system that enabled this to happen.
And non-voters.
Nope,
non-voters.
Nope.
Non-voters.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, non-voters.
They don't.
No, non-voters.
They don't get a say in it regardless. So it's
that's right,
moot.
because they didn't vote. That's right, they didn't
it's
vote.
Moot.
Okay,
they did not vote for Trump. They did not vote for Kamala. They did not vote for anybody. It's moot, whether you blame them or not.
It's moot. That's right. They have no say because they said nothing.
I mean, and then technically nobody had a say, even if you did vote. So again, this is where I say we do not blame voters. We do not blame our fellow workers.
What I'm going to say here is there are ways that we're definitely going to feel about it, but being combative with them is not helpful.
I agree.
And I'm going to leave that right there because, like I told y'all off screen last week, I will send myself into outer space, right out the airlock, because, well, when I finish writing it, y'all will know I'm currently on page 4. But on all of that to be like, hey, there are people who, now on the subject of non-voters, I can't, like, what I'll say is there is a part of that honestly speaking, all of those people, or at least the people that I know that fall into that category, or that I'm aware of that fall into that category, I have nothing but compassion and empathy for these people. Because I'm like, I see where you're coming from. I see, like, I feel different ways about it, but that has come with nuance over time. And I'm like, I'm not angry at you. Like, because, well, one, because being angry at you isn't helpful, but two, like, based on what I've seen for the people who are just like, this is what I'm doing and why, I'm like, yeah, if I were you, I'd also be kind of like, fuck all that too. So that's fair. And this is like, I'm going to leave that at that, and I'm going to go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the kitchen because I have decided that I'm going to go and show up at this poll and do the thing, right? The people that I need to talk to, if we're going to be upset at voters, if we're going to do it, my whole thing at this point is going to be reserved for the people who fell into the 60th percentile, the 70th, and the 70th percentile. I want to have a word with those people. Because it is giving the 1920s. And that is an entire different box of soap. Today's soap box brought to you by Tide. I'm putting that back under the counter for the time being. Next week, it'll be Game when I have to get on that soapbox. But this week is, wait, hold on. Is Tide on the block list?
I mean, what multinational corporation isn't?
Fair. Well,
clothes got to get clean. At this point.
Because we can't be nasty out here.
No, it seems that the people who are on the list, I figure like companies that you would normally have to kind of interact with on a regular basis.
It's like
you're constantly giving the money, like a McDonald's. Also, it was pointed out to me through members of BDS that Starbucks is not on that list as much as we thought it may have been. It so needs to be on that list, even if it's not. If anything, because of their support of the IOF, and just because of unfair labor practices, they were already on my list before this shit went down.
They were on my list, literally legit, because of the two black men.
So
yeah, like it's not on the, I just wanted to point out that Starbucks is not officially on the list, but
but
it needs to be. It's there in spirit and in anti-solidarity.
Right, but for many other reasons. Yes.
I mean, that's fair. What I think I wanted to say was the whole thing with Starbucks, and I feel like it probably just needs to be like mentioned like this because this was a thing that they said from the beginning was like, hey, if like these are the people that we're publishing. If, however, you have information on hand that makes you feel morally compelled to like add people to that list, add them. That's fine. Like, those are things. We just want you to understand that we are not asking for that if you decide to do it. And people were just like, okay, bet.
This is why I'm glad.
I kept it moving, and I think that's what happened with Starbucks. Starbucks ended up being a thing where people were just like, oh, we don't fuck with these people. And they were just like, unofficially, like not on the list necessarily officially, but still we don't fuck with them. And people were just like, okay, heard, and just didn't think about it after that.
Also, I do want to point out HP is on this list. I'm so glad. Glad to see it.
Full disclosure, I have an HP printer.
So do we, but I am in the market I'm in the market for a new printer because the one that we have is being used for business purposes.
Yeah, but I don't buy HP ink.
I'm looking for a new printer for party work, and it will definitely not be an HP.
I'm like this is on like Printer Watch, and like the first time I'm gonna give me an eco tank. It's been time. Ink alone. Yeah.
I've been looking at tanks, but there's one I think I have bookmarked on Amazon or wish listed on Amazon. Yeah. That just has like, it's a brother printer that has like, I guess like super long cartridge, like long lasting cartridges. They said like the one you get in a box will last you a year.
I've heard good things about Brother.
Yeah, the Verge. I think the Verge is is notorious for, if you're looking for a printer, please buy this laser printer from Brother. That is all you need.
Yeah.
But a laser printer for me is, I mean, it's not out of the price range, but I'm like, maybe I want to print in color, and the only ones that are decent enough price for me are black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't want a black and white printer. I actually want one that prints in color.
Yeah. For those moments when I have to like maybe have to print out a quick flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am definitely of the mindset of like the more or like I'm looking at the BDF list, and the more like really seeing the organic boycotts.
Yeah,
we're like, oh, those are easy. Those are easy peasy. I don't really
look. It was
really
easy.
anyway.
It was easy. I accidentally had some Pizza Hut at one point,
and that's fine. Dude.
Because somebody else bought it, and it was like, look, I'm hungry and I have nowhere else to go, because again, pockets turned out.
I think,
and again, it's organic, and I get it. I also looked at it like, look, I didn't put my money in this.
Right. You did not invest $1 in that.
But
right.
I have within the past year dreamt of Domino's.
like,
And I
feel like
I wanted it so bad.
And I mean, you probably did. I think that's kind of, like that's just kind of like a factor of how this goes. You have those like weird Jones and cravings. No, I mean, it's just like you have like cravings and things, but it's also just like, it's something that I've mentioned before, not necessarily on the show, but just elsewhere, being like, child, we didn't want to do all this and we shouldn't have to. Like, I just want to like go and click a button and have pizza brought to my house.
Right.
But here y'all are doing all of this extra and nonsense, and now I have to be bothered trying to figure out what to do with you because you decided to do all this. I didn't need all this. I didn't ask for all this.
It's a thing where I'm glad DoorDash exists now, and I can actually I can have a pizza delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And from like a local establishment, which makes me feel good, but it's also just
which even then you then have to go like, how do I feel about ordering things from DoorDash? You know what I mean? It's just like
what makes me feel better about that is the fact that as much as I know they're not getting paid as much as they should, I'm still helping people who may be in a terrible situation, seeing as that I was that person.
Right. Because I'm
all of that to say we're just doing like the best, like all of that to say, like I feel like we're like, it's one of those things like we constantly feel the burden of trying to do the best that we can,
right?
When like companies are just out here left, right, and center, like violating fucking human rights,
right? Because it's like it feels like a weird thing of us to then have to be the staunch line in the sand and draw that line in the sand and be like, I can't really rock with A, or I can't really rock with B because of these issues and things. As much as I want to like lean into Veilguard, I can't really like lean into I want to because EA is shitty. And the same thing goes with Ubisoft with in the vein of the Anode games. Nothing else. Not the Division, Assassin's Creed. It is the Anno Domini games. And as much as I've loved 1800, it just feels like Ash. It feels like the quintessential feeling of ash in my mouth every time I play it, because like just a bad biley taste in my mouth every time I play it, because I know how I feel about the Guillemons and how they've like become so synonymous with abuse. And that's what kind of irks me. That what irks me to my core. Even though there's a new Anno game, and I freaking hate Ubisoft Connect with a passion. But that's kind of the capitulate the things. That's like a bit of the things of what I feel. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it shouldn't be up to me to feel that, because I know I could be excited about it, but it just I feel like that it doesn't rock with me because of this. I mean, and I can't get too excited about it because it is dependent.
And like it's sad, like especially hearing about the stuff that's happening in Congo, right? Where it's like, we are a tech and gaming podcast. We want to talk about tech. but it's so hard to talk about like a new phone,
right,
or a new laptop, new tablet, a new gaming device
when it's made with conflict materials,
right? Or like talking about software, and it's like, or talking about like games in general. It's like, well, you know, there was crunch,
and people were laid off,
or like just so many.
They laid off 3,000 people before Christmas or whatever,
right?
You know,
and all the fucking AI and shit.
And you know, and Strauss Zelnick pulled in like buku cash, and you know, Bobby Kotick. Oh, that's Take Two, baby.
Okay.
That's Take Two, baby.
Look, I don't know, but so many CEOs, dog.
No, you gotta learn that. You gotta learn the names. You gotta say them like Aria's prayer, baby.
Look, I know.
So when you
I know
this whole
Satya. I know Sundar, Satya, Mark, Elon, Tim, Larry.
Yep.
Andy, because it's not Bezos anymore.
Yeah.
Even though he can catch it.
You gotta add the new name. You gotta add the new name on it. That's what I'm saying. So when we say like, you know, so when we say it, you gotta say the names.
But anywho, I don't know how the hell we got here from Bluesky.
The same way we got to do nuke spoil. It happened.
Wait, it was ruined? Ruined struck again?
No.
But yeah, so Bluesky hit 50 million users this week. Also in Bluesky news, they had an outage this morning. Apparently somebody cut a wire and it fucked some shit up between Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina and Richmond, Virginia.
Good thing I was so busy today, I didn't even notice.
I had two issues. There was one where somebody was showing, like their handle was showing up as invalid handle.
Yeah, and they were pretty communicative about it, so I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
And the other one was when trying to post a news article through Buffer, it failed.
I laughed.
But then when I retried it, it worked. So.
That's what I'm saying. Call. What I always like to say: call before you dig, baby. Call before you dig. Call before you dig.
So yeah. And other social media news.
Well, you know something, Diogen? On the one hand,
that was gonna happen.
On the one hand, I feel you, but this is also one of the things of being like, but quiet as it's kept. That was the thing that everyone was hoping for. That was the thing that everyone was like, well, I would move to the new platform, except for, and one of the reasons was, you know, I'm partnered with X brand or Y brand and they're not over there. So what am I supposed to do with that? And now people are moving over there. I'm like,
as far as sponsored content, yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I mean, all right. So like y'all have even less of a reason. Y'all have even less of a...
that should have been done earlier. I do give some grace though.
I'm not going to disagree.
I give it some grace though, because the API for Bluesky wasn't available until recently.
Yeah.
So it's like if they were building tracking apps to track engagement, that wasn't there, and I still do not know where their API is. I've not been following that development, but they talk about it a lot. But yeah, like I think it was like earlier this year, Bluesky made their API available to where you can at least with me on Buffer, I can post things to Bluesky outside of the app. So yeah, like there's no videos until recently. So yeah, like I get it. But yeah, at least it's like about time. Also things that are not on here but were included that were shared this week. The Guardian has left Twitter. And
the Onion bought Infowars.
That's on the list. You have the list.
You jumped the gun, Sin.
I mean, about all the news related to it, we might as well just bundle it together. I'm happy about that. I think it's funny.
To that, but anywho, also Threads is rumored to be getting ads in January. So
that's not really surprising because I really thought they were going to put ads
the most
on there.
leftist platform I have, which is Threads, thanks to this algorithm, will now make me want to spend less time on Threads.
The thing that already made me wanna really truly get off, like not really do Threads, is they won't let video, they won't give me an option to stop videos from autoplaying, and it annoys the shit out of me.
That's why I'm glad everybody everybody that I'm engaging with, look, it's always text.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like it's like 95% text.
Yeah.
But of course,
then all of a sudden, yeah.
But of course now, because of the recent Twitter exodus, I'm seeing a lot of content creators come in. Like people that I've recognized, and they're like, all right, I'm looking for the community. Follow me. No, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. So for like 3 days, it was a whole bunch of people like, hey, follow me. I'm over on Threads now. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then finally my For You timeline went back to leftists and communists and socialists. I was like, okay, we're and pro-Palestinian content. So I was like, all right, I had to suffer through that for about 3 days. I'm done now. I've done my time.
That's gonna well, I mean, never mind that the ads are some nonsense, because I'm like, that same thing is probably gonna is like happening on Bluesky as it currently stands. So
I think it's because I don't like with Bluesky, you can set the algorithm or feed that you want to where I only see people that I follow. Like I don't have the For You feed activated, or it's not focused. So I don't see that shit. The thing that I'm seeing on Bluesky that I like, and I kind of wish other platforms would do, and I'm not sure if Mastodon or the Activity Pub does this, is when people, like somebody follows like, hey, I have a list of people that you should follow, like the starter list. And I can click it. I can click into the starter list and just follow people individually that I think would be interesting, or I can hit follow all.
Yes.
It does the same thing for blocks, which that feature is my favorite.
Yeah, luckily I haven't had to block anybody, but hey, if you come up against like, hey, these are terrible people on Bluesky list, let me know. I wouldn't mind getting a jump on that.
I've already seen a few being like, hey, these people are going to be out here acting out of pocket, so just go ahead and block these.
Wait, only posts? There's a feed for that? Let me stop. Let's see, and more social media news. Allegedly, Trump is going to stop the TikTok ban.
Here's the thing, which is funny, all things being considered, but remember, they're Singaporean. The other, which...
Yeah. Well, no, the CEO is Singaporean. The company is still Chinese.
Oh, no, I'm memeing at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we know exactly what that reference is for. However, I'm not... Like, the reason why I'm not surprised there is because, obviously, as we saw throughout the campaign, people were paid good money to be influencers for all of this other stuff. And things like TikTok and, to lesser extents, Instagram and YouTube were definitely some of the loudest microphones that they had for content that goes viral and reaches a whole bunch of people. And they're not about to give up that loud of a megaphone. They're not. So that does not come as a surprise at all in any way, shape, or form. Now, how and in what way that happens, we're gonna have to find out. But like the idea that this is a thing on news is kind of like, if you follow the dollar signs, it makes a lot of sense.
Let's see.
They Diogen, in answer to that question, it was appealed.
No, actually, it will go into effect the day before Trump takes office.
What, the 19th of January?
Yep.
They are still in the middle of an appeal for that, though, aren't they?
But I don't think they got an injunction.
I guess we'll have to find out.
They ain't. It's gonna be one of those things.
But
like,
look, it's a thing where, I'm sorry, Kev. I interrupted. Sorry.
No, it was just gonna be me saying like it's gonna be banned. Trump takes office. It's as it's winding down. It's like reverse, and then it's like.
Also, I mean, and it's a thing too where who's going to enforce it?
Right.
Two, it's already on our devices. I don't think they'll go and remove it because I feel like that's against the law.
And then on top of that, there's like web apps.
Well,
desktop, browser access.
But see, I'm wondering if they'll turn off U.S. servers. Shit, that's probably the thing. Because if they turn off the U.S. servers, then that doesn't matter. If you can't access it, you just can't. I mean, unless you just set your DNS settings to point outside of the country or get a VPN. Which, probably of course, if in 2024, and if you can afford it, why do you not have a VPN? You know what your boy did the first day he got that paycheck? VPN. Well, see, that's the thing. If nobody's updating the, what's up, Takao? If nobody is updating those DNS entries and they're all pointing to U.S. servers, or if nobody the only thing that will work is if TikTok puts an update to TikTok that changes where the servers point to. That's the only way they get saved in this scenario. Like for if you want TikTok, download it now. Make sure you update it. Like, give them like a week lead up. Put a notification in on the phones. Like, if you do not update your app before January 19th, TikTok is going to break for you. Because if there is like let's say, because everything's fucking automated now. Even like the job I have, we're focusing on automation. So who's to say that Google and Apple has not set an automation to remove the app from US App Store on January 19th? Look, Claudia Scheinbaum, or however you pronounce her name, and I know that sounded very anti-Semitic the way I pronounced it, but it was not meant to be. But the president of Mexico, I think she's going to go and fix them. She's going to fix the service and we're going to pay for it.
I see what you did there. I don't hate it, but I hate it.
Like the tariffs. Trump's going to create the tariffs and we're going to pay for it.
We're going to pay for it. Same thing with the wall. It says, create the wall and we had to pay for it. Yep.
All right. There were some jumps here between social media and this next story, mainly the Twitter stuff. But Cybertruck, they're always driven by stupid fucks. It is the Cybertruck. Oh, I wish if I zoomed it would have stayed on the picture, but it didn't. That's Cybertruck with 6 recall this year, this time over a bad inverter. And this one cannot be fixed over with the software update. You gotta go in, get fixed.
You gotta take it to the hole in the wall.
Tesla voluntarily issued a recall for approximately 2,431 Cybertrucks manufactured between November 6, 2023 and July 30th, 2024. Wow. Only 2,000 Cybertrucks were made in between that time. The issue is related to something called the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistors, or MOSFET, in which the inverter has the potential to stop creating torque, resulting in a loss of propulsion for the truck. Excuse me. Damn. That means your truck just gonna stop, baby. It just.
Mm-hmm. Hope you're not going. But hope you're not on the highway. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I saw one on the highway today.
Did it make you mad?
No, they don't make me mad. They really don't, because it every time I see one, I sing that stupid song, and then I feel happy.
Lord, I got the clip. I got the clip that I made of us and playing Fortnite. We blew up the Cybertruck, and it was like, and I was singing the song, and I was like, "It is a Cybertruck," and then it blew up, and it was like, "It was a Cybertruck." Yeah.
The thing about today's sighting was, it was raining.
Oh, that
it was raining today.
R.I.P. to that.
I just wanted to see
that finish.
I just wanted to see if it was going to rust in real time. This is one of those things that's going to get worse under the next head. Man, I can't imagine 47 is going to leave the rules for recalls and stuff as they are. One of his cronies is going to water down the rules. Well, of course, Trump and Vivek Ramaswamy in the Department of Government Efficiency,
Doge for short.
Brian Becker called it dog. And I was like, I have been on the internet too long to where I got upset when he mispronounced Doge.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Doge, man.
No, he said dog. I'm like, no, that's not what that is.
He don't know. He
don't know.
He don't know. But yeah, if you got, like I say, you driving a Tesla.
Trucks are going to get
next year.
Trucks are going to get so much bigger.
Yep.
So much more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my goodness. There's
like I said, there's a chance a recall happens, but you're just not going to be aware of it. It's almost like you got to sit on the recall. If it even happens in the first place, because like if you're not like somebody's gonna have to blow the whistle. Somebody's gonna have to be like, hey,
it's really, that's what it's gonna take, because it's at a point now where funding for that agency will probably get cut because of Doge. A lot of companies are going to just go wild and crazy with their
real fast
with how they build their cars.
Yeah.
And then when they all start breaking down and people start reporting this shit because they cut the funding, nobody's going to be able to report it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like insurance companies are not going to be willing to cover shit, and then people are going to be mad.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh yeah, we ain't gonna cover defects. We can't cover pre-existing
conditions.
No, it's pre-existing conditions in cars now. Yo, I'm out. Yo.
I broke Kevin's brain.
Yo,
I need to write that down somewhere. That's going into one of the posts.
They're going to deny cars for pre-existing conditions.
That's going into one of the posts for socials. I need to make sure I write that down.
Yo,
pre-existing conditions
in cars, bro. Oh my gosh, somebody should clip that. Oh my gosh, for real, somebody should clip.
I hit the button. We'll see if that happened.
Oh my god! Listen, because I think they're like literally like, yo, like higher insurance if you have an insurance. Higher insurance if your car keeps having multiple recalls.
I mean, technically that exists.
we had like things called lemon laws.
But see, that gets repealed or severely cut.
That's the thing though. What they often don't do is like they don't necessarily repeal laws or cut things. They just make it toothless.
Yeah.
They weaken it.
Yeah.
And they weaken it to the point where it still exists, but it's still going to take a Herculean effort.
This is why we should not fight for reforms. We should fight for rights.
Mm-hmm.
And then make sure they are enshrined and cannot be taken away from us. Right. This is why we need a new constitution. This is why we need a new system. Again, here's
the thing. Unfortunately, they agree with you. That's the problem.
That's the problem. They are all for a new constitution. The problem is they want to have the control of the constitution.
I mean, they technically do already, but okay. Constitution was written for rich white men. Land owning, well, I guess rich would imply land owning, but
no, it's landed gentry. So, yeah, landed gentry. It's people with land. You own land, you're landed gentry.
Okay.
Yeah, you have,
it's a new word.
Oh no, it's not a new word. It's an old word you've never heard. It's new to you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
New to you.
I
want them to know you don't know words, Major.
I mean, tell them, because I don't.
You don't know words.
I don't know words.
That you are not educated.
I'm the dumbest socialist out here. I don't look. It took me months to figure out material dialect. See, I can't even say it.
There you go.
Contradictions confound me sometimes.
Contradictions confuse and anger me.
Yeah.
This
I know what I want, but I don't know why I do.
This feeling of love confuses and angers me.
Wealth inequality angers me. I can't explain it to you, but I know I'm mad.
I'm mad, and I can't articulate these feelings.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I want people to understand. Look, I am correct on a lot of things. Just because I can't explain it to you doesn't mean shit, though.
I'm cackling in my salsa water.
You see, you think you had me. Nah, nigga, I've been knew that. And I want more people to know. This is why I share a whole bunch of TikToks.
And I am saying that I concur.
There you go with his big ass words again. This is why I share TikToks, because people can say things better than I can. But this is how I feel. I thought about this last week, but I could not articulate it. Here it is articulated.
Let me put down Major for a thesaurus. Bet. Boom. Alexa, get him a thesaurus.
So, although jokes aside, the revolution better be accessible, because listen, the way that we have got to be able to let people get access to, here is how the lines of thinking about these subjects work. Let me help you. Yes. If I have to explain this with a pair of boots made out of Play-Doh so that you get it, I just need you to get the information. How you get the information is relevant, and we will not be judging you for it.
This is why I follow somebody on TikTok who is reading through Karl Marx's Capital with a group of people, and then she'll come on TikTok and cliff notes it for you. So it's like, oh, I kind of get it, because Karl Marx, he says 2,000 words where two will do.
Yep.
I sat there and listened through.
When you can listen low. Yeah.
I listened through the fucking Communist Manifesto Wednesday. It did not need to take an hour to go through that. It was 45 pages.
I mean, but sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta say a lot to really let them know you mean that shit. Sometimes you gotta be like, "No, I mean that."
I'm still
And in
gonna
this
buy the
2 hour
damn.
and in this 2 hour video, I will show.
But it
I
wasn't
mean
like they
that.
were explaining it. It was just like an audio book that lasted an hour, like for 45 pages. I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
I need you need to know exactly everything that you need.
It
Like,
it did make
what I
me want
will-
to buy the book so that way I can kind of read it again and say, okay, I think I got it now.
I want to say, as a person who has had to do that as a job, the ability, like something that has been very valued in like my career experience, has been the ability for anybody to take a really complex subject and make it parsable to people who don't see the things that you do, interact with the systems that you do, or have the knowledge that you have, and have them go, I understand enough about this to figure out how this works if you weren't going to be here
Yep.
in an hour.
Yep.
Like that was my job for a long time, was like having to train people. So telling them things like, this is what a learning management system is. Like a what, a who, what is a standard for content? How does instructional design work? How do you align that with what do you mean a business goal? We've been running this up on a PowerPoint, a Yahoo address, and like a spreadsheet from like a pirated copy of Office 365. What are you talking about? And having to take people from that to, we have questions about APIs. So what I see here is that you can do this, but can you also do this? It is a very particular skill set to be able to take ideas like this, and condense them into a thing that a 5-year-old can use. Unless you're a person who enjoys feeling intellectually superior to other people, and then you just write 2,000-page things where only 5 words would have done.
Yeah, this is why I like microblogging, because it forces me to be succinct, even though nowadays,
And kind of to a thing that Kevin said, knowing the points at which it's like, hey, I can simplify that, let me do that, and knowing, hey, I know you want this to be simpler than it is, but this is a messy and complex subject, and we're gonna have to walk you through it, and it has like 57 pieces. So I'm gonna walk you through parts 1 through 5, and then tell you, go have a bathroom break. We're gonna talk about 6 through 8. Please go get a sandwich.
Yep.
We're at part 10. Go have a nap. We'll come back to the rest of this tomorrow. You're gonna need to sit down and digest all of this.
Like
I like the
doesn't.
sandwich.
That's what I'm saying. There are people who want. There are times when I'm like, you need. There are times when I've always said that there are times where I'm going to teach you how to make a sandwich, and there are going to be times I'm going to have to teach you how to make. I'm going to have to teach you how to make a pound cake. Every time I talk to you, it's gonna be. I'm going to break down how to make a lasagna, because if I don't hand you the recipe with the clear steps and ingredients, bake time, oven temperature, times that you need to do, prep time and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to understand, because you're not going to really clock with it, because that's what you need. Because again, that's what you need to go ahead and do. We need full, complete steps on how to build these things, starting with ingredients, what to make, what to put together, what type of bowl does it need to go in, where are the layers, do you put the ricotta in before the sauce, do you put the noodles before the ricotta? We need to have the clear breakdowns. And so sometimes when I'm explaining things, it really is, I need to teach you how to make a lasagna. Because if I don't teach you how to make a lasagna and just say make a lasagna, you're not going to understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Or in the case of, because I've been watching a lot of British baking show, give somebody a technical challenge and a short list of how they need to make it, and then try to make it as closely to where it's supposed to be. That's fine. That's fine for a baking competition. It's not the same for community building. It's not the same for community outreach. It's not the same for activism.
It definitely isn't the same.
It's also not the same for Activision.
Definitely not the same. Definitely not the same for Activision. Absolutely not. But but it doesn't work for activism. It doesn't work for protesting. It doesn't work for starting a movement, or a movement, or fighting for a cause. You need to know the steps of how to make a lasagna. And when you don't, and when you leave out key ingredients, it's kind of hard. There are 15 different things that comes about, and you just gotta hope the thing you made is close to what you want. That's the best thing I can tell you is how things work out is exactly what I said. A British Bake Off technical, because they just give them just enough to know how to make it, and then okay, cool, make it. You were close. You were way off. You were 15th. You were 19. You were 9. You're now Star Baker. Because you made it just right. So with everything that we do, we have to say, I have to teach you how to make a lasagna. And my mama hates it, because my mama is like, kind of goes with the flow type person. But I'm like, no, everything I do, mother, I have to tell you how to make a lasagna. Because if I don't, you're not good. You're going to be like, wait, what did you do again? Exactly.
Like, part of it is that, and part of it is, I guess, depending on what the subject is, especially for the stuff that you talked about, you have a lot of people who are doing things but don't understand why they're doing things, and not understanding. And that's the difference between knowing when to adapt or adopt a strategy, or make a pivot, or make a turn, or whatever, on instinct and intuition, versus being stuck somewhere and then having like the whole whatever you're trying to move through come to a complete stop because you're just like, I don't know what to do unless I have instructions.
Right. And with major, and no, not major. But what Ruin says is like, I would like to see somebody go through the flow with making lasagna.
It's going to involve a lot of the following words. Ow.
Right. Oof.
Yeah.
Is this right? Yeah. Ugh. Maybe I may have left it in too long. That kind of thing. Like, can you go to flow making a lasagna? Sure. Is it gonna taste good? Probably not. But or unless you have said, I have made a lasagna so many times, I can just literally clock in, and make lasagna. Because I know what that lasagna is gonna be, because I can make that. But yeah.
But yeah. 6 recall for Tesla yet again. I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
We've kind of been out of practice.
It's been a minute. You're right.
It's been a minute. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of things outside the vein of tech. So it's gonna happen. Yeah.
But in things you can fix, Apple has released the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro parts for the do-it-yourself repairs. So you can fix your own iPhone if you bought the new one when we told you not to.
Repair. We told you not to.
But in case you did, you can fix it.
You can fix it.
If somebody saw that you had the iPhone 16 and they threw it and broke your screen, now you have the parts to repair your screen.
Yes. Because again, right to repair.
But you shouldn't have bought the new iPhone.
Yeah. Because you don't need that phone.
You don't.
You got a perfectly good 15. What are we doing?
Still rocking 14 Pro, but still on that lightning life. A new iOS 18 security update or security feature makes it harder for police to unlock iPhones. So apparently, as much as Tim Apple is kissing the ring of Führer Trump, the engineers, the Apple engineers decided, hey, what if we just locked a phone if nobody messed with it for about 3 days?
And you know what? What happened?
And not so much lock it, but reboot it.
Yeah. So
which will make it harder to get into.
Right, because then you have to use the code. If you reboot a phone, you have to use the code in order to activate anything else.
So 404 Media, which first reported police warnings about the reboots on Thursday, writes that Restarted iPhones enter a more secure before first unlock or BFU state. Now it seems Apple added inactivity reboot code into iOS 18.1 that triggers iPhones to restart after they've been locked for 4 days. Excuse me. So before this was made known, 404 was reporting that police were saying that, hey, if you put iPhones together, apparently they talk to each other and reboot. I said, okay, that's dumb. That is really stupid and very It's very conspiracy theory. But yo, that's funny as shit. And that's dope.
You want to know what's really, you know what that means? The official sponsor for like protests now are iPhones.
I mean, again, I also want to stress, this is me going on my tangent now. If you're at a protest, you are not planning on using your phone for quite some time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just hit cancel. Your phone is in a similar state, a BFU state. Maybe not exactly BFU, but it will save you time from having to turn off and turn the phone back on. All you have to do is hit the side button 5 times and it locks your phone.
What do you mean it locks the phone?
So it won't unlock via any biometrics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you failed. Oh, because you failed the.
No, it's not even a fail. Because what it does is take you to an emergency mode.
Right.
So you can turn it off, get the medical ID, or do an emergency call. But if you hit cancel, it takes you back to where your phone is just locked, period.
Good.
So you would need to put in the code. Also, I recommend that people use alphanumeric passcodes. I remember having to install a specific profile into an iPhone in order to get that. Now it's just available for everybody. So, yeah, use an alphanumeric passcode on your phone instead of like 5 or 6 or 4 to 6 digit pin. But also like, yeah, I mean, I imagine like it's not the same state as the BFU. So maybe rebooting the phone would be the best because I have a feeling what it's going to do is it's going to encrypt that data on the phone. Whereas doing that method, it may not encrypt it. It will just make it difficult to get back in my phone. Yep. But if you boot it back up, it should probably encrypt all that data and will not decrypt until you sign into the phone.
So basically say, go to event, reboot phone. Don't open it.
Yeah, don't open it unless you need it.
Right, unless you need it. And then like event happened, you are home, enter and go. Say like you're going to church. Reboot your phone. Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, so good on iOS. Also because like so Android also has this too. So yeah, it's not like this is the iPhone is the official phone of the revolution, because there are definitely other things that
this is I'm going to repeat myself, which y'all know how I love to do. I'm going to repeat myself and say, hi, for legal and illegal purposes, this is humor. I'm not going to tell y'all that this is humor because y'all know better than for me to say a whole ass corporation like that would be the sponsor for the revolution. Please.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would say in this case, to get the phone to a BFU, reboot the phone. It does not matter which one, iPhone, any Android device, reboot your phone. Make sure that you have, it is encrypted in some way. Well, actually, I think the default state is the phones are encrypted unless you've unlocked it on Android. I'm pretty sure you can unlock it on iOS too through a jailbreak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these devices come, like, especially newer I'm gonna say like flagship phones or anything coming out of Samsung, anything coming out of Google, probably are encrypted. I know Samsung uses Knox. I don't know what Google uses. But yeah, I'm pretty sure these phones do come encrypted out of the box. So like when you reboot, you don't have to worry about it I know that when you are worrying about your computer, your desktop computers, you're looking at using File Vault for Apple from Mac OS, BitLocker, or there's another one, there's a free alternative because Windows Home Edition computers do not have BitLocker, or at least they didn't. I can't remember if that changed. And
Are you talking about like password managers?
no, I'm talking about like disk encryption,
Oh, okay.
where if somebody tried to take your data out of your computer, they cannot get that data.
Right.
And there's God knows, like I know there's some partition stuff in Linux. I can't remember if there's anything you can do after the fact. I'm pretty sure there is though. But yeah, all that stuff to protect your data. I am not that person to go through a lot of that stuff because like I use them in varying degrees because of my just wanting to be convenient as opposed to secure. But at least at least my Macs are encrypted. This computer is not, but there's nothing on it. There's nothing that I want to protect, but everything that I do have that does have sensitive information on it, they are encrypted. Speaking of encryptions and passwords and whatnot, we've got the 2024 list of worst passwords. And I hope nobody is on this list. Oh, nobody's password is on this list.
Okay.
Jeez, why do I have to jump through so many fucking hoops? Why are there so many trackers? So let's see here. The top password for all countries is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the United States, it's secret. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coming in second. Oh, let's see here. What do we got?
Absolutely use number 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, let's see. We've got secret 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Password QWERTY 1, 2, 3. QWERTY 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Password 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC 1, 2, 3. QWERTY, I love you. Password with a capital P. Baseball at number 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 ones. Princess at number 17. Football at number 18. Monkey at number 19. And Sunshine at number 20 for the United States.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say that it is not much different around the world. Dragon comes in at number 20. Oh, there are some zeros at number 14. Secret checks out Trump sold all those. Hunter 12 didn't make the list. Yeah, let's see. 6 zeros at number 14. QWERTY UIOP, oh, so that top row at 24. Target 1, 2, 3 at 28. Tinkle at 29. Zag 12 WSX. Oh. Can you tell me what that is? Zag 12 WSX.
Can't think of it.
Look at your keyboard.
What now? What are we talking about?
What ZAG 12WSX is?
WSX.
Yes.
Oh. It's the second key. It's the second key of each row.
No, it goes up. ZAQ1. Go to the next row or next column.
Oh, just go up one row and then go down the other one.
Yes.
Okay.
It took me like when I saw it, I said, what is that? Oh, I see it.
Okay.
So it's not, I'm sorry, and it's not ZAG, it's ZEC.
Okay, that's what
Q.
was
So it says
what threw
G
me
right
off.
here.
Like,
No, that's actually a Q. That's, or is people, oh, I see what's happening. They're replacing the Q with a G. Just to throw people off.
I guess, which is fine.
You know,
But
Bear, like, we'll give you a C- for effort.
The only reason why I've realized that is because QWERTY at 32 is GWERTY. Because they switched the Q with a G. Also 1G, 2W, 3E, 4R. Again, taking the G out and replacing it, or taking the Q out, replacing it with a G. 6 6s. And here's the original 1Q2W3E4R5T. 987654321. And notice that, oh wow, actually, oh, when you take the G's out, it takes them 3 hours. Or when you take the Q's out and replace it with G's, it takes them 3 hours as opposed to like seconds. So it takes just a little bit more time.
A time was had.
ZXCVBNM, that's the bottom row. Fuck you at number 60.
Cheese at number 200.
Driving around town with the girl I love, and I saw.
Dodger, I think it takes longer because of the fact that you don't have to sit there and type the keys. You may actually have to use a tool at that point. Computer. Superman. Dear Book. Pokemon. Michael. Daniel. Okay, how is this number 75 with 44,313 111222 Tiana? Or Tianya.
Oh wow, that took a day.
I mean, it's not common. Like again, I think we've had this conversation before. I think what it was for a lot of these, they were set up in like a configuration of computers that got hacked. So somewhere there are like 44,313 servers that apparently have this password in it somewhere. See Shadow at number 87, Soccer at number 89, Killer at 95, Testing is at 96.
1, 2, 3.
I'm sorry, Admin is at 94. Liverpool at 105.
Oh, Major.
Yes.
Kevin. As I spy with the spectacled eyes,
Oh boy.
the minute and the hour at the bottom
yes.
left corner of my screen.
All right, so let's see.
What
Diogen's looking
good
for
word shall we
Hunter
bring to the
12.
people?
So Hunter's at 139. Hunter 12 is not on the list though. But remember, trust no one. 135. Let's see here. I'm gonna speed run through some of this here. Amazon can't force employees into anti-unionization meetings. 23andMe is ending its cancer research program and is slashing over 200 jobs. AMD is losing 4% of its global workforce.
It is.
Which is
Spoiler
1,000 people. I'm sorry?
I was going to say, and of course, the grand spoiler alert of 2024.
Oh, yes. The Onion just bought Infowars. Oh, shit. Have we not been showing the sites?
Oh, no, we haven't.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
My bad. Why didn't somebody say anything?
Because I can't see the things that they can see.
But our audience, our lovely audience, the chat.
Okay, so y'all aren't trying to be real ones. That's what I heard.
That's what I'm gathering from this. But yes, the Onion has just bought Infowars. I knew what you were referencing, but I thought you knew. I did not know.
I'm assuming that Onion is just going to keep the site up, but just
it's
also
actually
just
down.
low.
So last I heard, it was down.
Right.
So there
It
was
is still down. It says site is unavailable till further notice.
So there's a meme here because the Onion publishes things, and one of the things that it said it would be really. They posted an article. The meme article title was "Using money from the Sandy Hook family members, the Onion purchases Infowars." And someone must have thought, Internet, you have the opportunity to do something that will be real funny right now. Wait, you have this look on your face like, what? Like, that was the thing.
From what I understand, the Onion owns Infowars. This isn't a meme. This isn't somebody being funny.
No. Allow me to I said there was prior to this purchase, there was a meme title the Onion published saying the Onion bought Infowars because of some wild, unbelievable circumstance. Here we are a year later, and they actually did the thing.
Okay.
I'm giving you history here.
Okay. The way it sounded was like they wrote a story that says that the Onion bought Infowars, and then because you said like the internet do its thing, to me translated to the internet bought, like some random person on the internet bought it.
Okay, let me help you.
I got
no,
it.
I was like, to connect the meme in the middle, there is a thing or a trend where they just go, they publish something or someone takes a screenshot of something and says, "Dear internet, y'all have the opportunity to help do something really funny right now if you wanted to do that." Or they'll see a thing and tag a company and be like, "Hey company, if you wanted to do something really funny at this moment, this would be a great time to do it." So it is just funny that this is the thing that happened.
I love that the Connecticut Democrats with the Onion newspaper bought us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was a result of the Onion getting funds from some of the Sandy Hook shooting victims who won a lawsuit against Alex Jones for defamation of character, to where just like Rudy Giuliani, he fucked around and found out and lost everything. So yeah. Now the
Wait a
Onion
minute.
of Infowars.
This really did come from the families of the Sandy Hook, like
Yes.
for real?
Yes.
Oh God. Like
Yes.
it's just the fact that the whole thing happened to the T as the article suggested it. That is wild to be about this.
The Onion purchased Infowars assets with the support of the families in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, who sued Jones for spreading lies about the victims of the 2012 shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
Well, I mean, they're pretty flush, right? You know.
Oh yeah, very much. Jones was ordered to pay more than $1 billion in 2022 and filed for bankruptcy later that year. In September, a judge-approved auctions to liquidate Jones's assets, including Infowars. Yep. The Onion, thanks to the Sandy Hook victims, or thanks to the Sandy Hook survivor, excuse me, bought Infowars from Alex Jones in an auction. Nobody knows what the Onion's going to do with it, but right now it is unavailable till further notice.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you saw me checking the source code of the site just to make sure there wasn't anything hidden there. Apparently it will be relaunching in January 2025. How much you want to bet it'll be January 20th, 2025?
I think I wouldn't bet the farm on it, but I definitely covered the spread.
Moving on to gaming news. Hundreds of ZeniMax workers strike over Microsoft outsourcing and remote work policies. The one-day walkout by staff who work on Fallout, Starfield, and Doom will be held on, or was held yesterday, November 13th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time at 4 ZeniMax Studios offices in Maryland and Texas. Staff say they are concerned over the unilateral decision to outsource quality assurance work to external teams at a time of uncertainty and layoffs. In short, the worry is ZeniMax will undercut its own union staff by shifting the work elsewhere. And that's not great, especially when you have a union.
Mm-hmm.
It is unfortunate that it is a one-day strike, but again, definitely here to support unions and whatever they decide to do and however they decide to fight for equal protections under the law and making sure that they have the right to do their jobs. Discord leaker Jack Texiera, I don't know, this random dude right here, has been sentenced to 15 years in jail for violating the Espionage Act by having to prove to his friends that he knows shit about things in the military. And again, kids, even though Discord is somewhat of an encrypted platform, they can still see what the fuck's going on and they can report you to the police. If you're really trying to do some dumb shit, I would suggest using an encrypted platform like Matrix. Like matrix.majorshouse.com.
Mm-hmm.
I would say please don't post classified information on there because I don't want nothing to do with that. But I'm just saying it's encrypted. Also Signal. Use Signal. Power Dev details the patents Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are suing for. Their patent number is 7545191, 7493117, 7528390. Of course, if you were looking on the site, I'm going to make this bigger. You can see that those patents were actually were filed for and registered in 2024, which would make you think that Nintendo does not have a leg to stand on, seeing that Power World was released in January 19, 2024, and was definitely showing off at least like a year or two before then. However, it is pointed out that these patents are from a parent patent which was registered in 2021. So I don't know how that works in Japan, but that might be enough. And of course, it is what Kev predicted, or is what the internet predicted, and I think Kev and I had agreed on. It was the use of a Pokeball.
Yep.
Or a Pokeball-like device to catch monsters.
Yeah. Yeah. We were right about that. It was all about the Pokeballs, but it was also the fact that they were like, oh, you can actually ride the thing in which you carry.
Really, I didn't not know that.
That would I saw a Skillo video about that as well.
Oh, never mind. I see it here now. Catching creatures and riding creatures.
Right. To which I am basically saying, like, that's one of those things where it's like, I hope they don't try to like targeted mounts, because that's what mounts are. Like,
also, it seems like catching creatures, that's like throwing a net.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see kind of what goes on, because like the more blatant thing would be like, I don't know, these creatures look a lot like Pokemon.
Yeah.
But of course, like I said, these are legally distinct from Pokemon.
Yes.
Like I don't know what it's gonna look like for like the catching of Pokemon, but yeah, like Kev said, like I don't know, riding creatures is literally a mount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And people have been making mounts in video games long before Nintendo. People have been doing that for quite some time alongside Nintendo.
Yes.
Like WoW would like a word.
Yeah, like literally, like the one thing I'm thinking of is WoW.
Like EverQuest would have a word.
Most RPGs would like a word. The Final Fantasy series.
That's right.
Yeah.
Would like to talk to you about that.
Dragon Quest would have a word. Because like the monster capturing craze really started with Dragon Quest as opposed to Pokemon.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see where this case goes, but at least it is known that it is like there are a lot of people were right. It was for catching Pokemon or capturing monsters, but also with the addition of riding these creatures. So we'll keep an eye out on that, of course, because I guess that's the latest gamer drama that's happening. Not really, but yeah. The only one. This is the one I care about right now, until I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one was interesting until I realized who was behind it. Valve has been accused of allowing the proliferation of hate, as the report finds 1.8 million instances of extremism or hateful content on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
The company needs to make significant changes to its approach.
Yes.
Before we go any further, because I feel like this is important, who do you think generated this report?
I know the answer, so I'm not going to answer that.
Give up?
I'm just gonna let it rock.
The Anti-Defamation League. You know, the organization that says, I don't know, when we want to stop a genocide, we are being super anti-Semitic.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I'm not saying that there is not hateful shit on Steam, because there is. 100%. But I don't know if I want the ADL to sit there and make that call.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, are you qualified
Because
to say that? I don't know if you are qualified to say that.
Y'all be dealing with some hate. like spewing hate.
Mm-hmm.
Just be out here, you know?
Let's see here. Examples given include explicitly anti-Semitic symbols and copy pasta, white supremacist copy pasta, Nazi images such as the swastika or Totenkopf, plus tens of thousands of instances of users expressing support for foreign terrorist organizations. Here we go. Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, which I don't know nothing about. I don't know enough about ISIS, but this one, Hamas. You know, Palestinian freedom fighters who just want, you know, people who stole their land to give it back, and others. Pretty sure the Hezbollah and the Houthis are also mentioned. The ADA also claimed to have found 184,622 keywords on Steam used in an extremist or hateful context, including 1488, shekel, and white power. Boy, you know, it really sucks. I said all of that. Adding that 1.5 million unique users and 73,824 groups had shared at least one example of potentially extremist or hateful content. I mean, look, I'm not going to say that there is not any anti-Semitism on this platform. Clearly there is. It's not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing is you considering Hamas a terrorist organization. That's a U.S. classification that everybody's too bitch mode to sit there and go against because of what they're actually doing. I would say that anything that mentions the IDF is a terrorist organization. Should I form a group or consult with a group of Palestinians and say, hey, you know, this is a game that's about the IDF in Steam. We should say something about this because they're committing a genocide in Gaza, the West Bank, Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. I mean, I'm just saying. But yeah, I would rather go with a third party or in somebody who's independent, who doesn't have necessarily like look, we are here for all marginalized communities, not one specifically. Like the last thing I want is for my oppressor to tell me, oh wait, I forgot there is definitely Project 2025 and in there is provisions for, you know, people paying reparations to white people if they were the victims of anti-white discrimination. NVIDIA's new app replacement for GeForce Experience is now out of beta. We're now in the update section. You should update your NVIDIA app if you have NVIDIA GPUs, so you get your updates. They're going to be bundling this with the drivers now instead of the GeForce Experience. So, excuse me, get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, last but not least, Nintendo officially announced the Black Friday Switch deals for 2024. I don't know. I included it because it was a deal. There are a lot of them. There were more on this list, but I was like, yeah, I do not care anymore. I think some of them I were interested in because, I don't know, I wanted a TV. Also, there were things I needed to get my parents. So yeah, I included them and then took them off because, like, yeah, that's not important.
Yeah, I just wanted to get. They're just gonna. It's just gonna be me getting household items, and at some point get a new Amber Nick, and then it's like, yeah, it's fine, because I'm like I'm on a game buying freeze until next year anyway. So
mine is, I also just got a job that happened to coincide with Black Friday.
Yeah,
which is now 5 months long.
Right.
So it's like replacing of a TV. Gotta get that done. I guess I should get some gifts from my parents. One for Christmas and two because they definitely helped me survive through all of this shit. So I really want to pay them back.
Right. So yeah, I have
also
fair
the
amount of
Nintendo stuff
shopping to do.
And the Nintendo stuff is on here because I did say I was going to get my kid a Switch. So doesn't seem like they have any Switch lights on here, but also I don't know how I feel about buying a new Switch and then getting more. Well, I guess two of us can have Mario Kart.
Got the thing, and there's the dock, so it'll be on his TV.
Well, the thing is, we're not too concerned about that because it seems like it's just too many moving parts.
Oh, because the
Joy-Cons, yeah.
I thought I saw something about a Switch Lite. Switch Lite had something.
I mean, it's sorry. It's we're already expecting to pay like $250-$300 on it, so it's fine. And like, it's like, sure, we could use a packing game, but I have plenty.
Yeah.
Like whether it's digital or even physical cards. So we're good on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say keep a look around. I might just still in the Discord, if I see more Black Friday deals and stuff, I might just post them in the server, but not include them for the show. Because I may not be the only one who's looking for some deals and stuff like that. I know for me, TV is a big thing. Do want to point out though, Best Buy, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, I say that on a regular basis, but yeah.
Do you know how much it costs to mount a TV at Best Buy?
$200.
$150.
Oh, I was up by 50.
Do you know how much it will cost to unmount a TV?
How much?
$150.
So basically, like, yeah.
I would, especially for the TV I am looking at, I would have to pay the price of the TV nearly twice.
Yeah.
To get it mounted because I have a TV I need to take down.
Yeah.
And I cannot for the life of me figure out how to do it because whoever put them up there, it seemed like they did a really good job. And I'm not trying to break shit.
Reach out to an electrician.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something because the TV was actually on my list of things to buy this paycheck.
Yeah, reach out to an electrician. See what they say.
I went to TaskRabbit and they were like, yeah, there are no TV mounters in your area. Like, what do you mean? I might just look in Raleigh just to cheat and get them to come over anyway. Actually, does that work?
Yeah, they'll charge you mileage. They might charge you mileage.
Dude, this is a serious fucking job. Like, it's whatever at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Check out.
Shit. No, I can't
reach out to
because
an electrician.
they're looking at streets.
Reach out to an electrician. Say, hey, do you mount TVs?
I saw like there's some AV people like they showed me the charge for mounting, but I've yet to call because I probably need to call some people this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I guess since I'm talking about a weekend, I'll go and get started. This weekend, it's payday. It is payday in the street. So, and because my wife was gracious enough to give me one payday where I did not have to contribute to bills as much, I still had to pay for some things. But because she gave me free reign over my paycheck, of course, without question, without lip, I am starting to put towards the joint, put towards our bills for the first time in 20 months. So I'm really excited about that. Not really, but I mean, look, it's helping and I'll take that. Also along with that, because again, my family has done a lot for me over these past few months, over this past year and a half. I am taking them out to dinner this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that headache. Luckily, I was able to see a doctor this past week. So meds. I have meds now, and will not be like, oh my god, I can't do this.
Huzzah.
Yes, I'm really happy. Sunday.
Or at least if you get to the point that you're just like, oh, I can't do this, it won't be because of meds.
Because yes, they can be quite a lot. Let's see here. Also, I don't know. I've been buying up a whole bunch of games. I'm really contemplating upping my micro SD storage. Also, if I see a decent deal on a bigger SSD for the Steam Deck, I might look into that too. I want the most storage ever in a mobile handheld. It'll be great.
There's a good chance. 2
terabytes in a Steam Deck. I will have a bigger Steam Deck than what Steam sells.
Mm-hmm.
I had that for a while until they released the OLED. Oh man, they've been also having deals on fucking the ROG Ally. It's sometimes I'll be thinking about it. So this could solve that other launcher problem I have. But I don't know if I want to spend $300 and have 2 mobile PC rigs. Because, you know, I don't sell shit like that. I'll wait like a year in and then we'll see. Takao, I told you I don't like to sell. For me, that's like again, I'm a person who's like, all right, if I have something and you don't and you would like to have it or need it, I will just give it to you. I'm just not at that point yet with the Steam Deck. So I might just wait and see what newer hardware looks like in 2025 if we don't get tariffed to hell for it. Anywho, Sunday we have info session for a Party for Socialism and Liberation. That's right. If you are tired, if you are angry at everything that's been going on with the 2-party system and you would like to see a change, you would like to fight for that change, do recommend, like, look for any organization that will help. Let's start there. Because yes, I have heard criticisms about the PSL. Find an organization, take that energy, channel it. Don't point it towards your fellow man, your fellow worker. Because y'all got more in common than you do with Kamala, with Trump, with any of these billionaires. Beyonce, Oprah, Jay-Z. No, you got more in common. And it's going to hurt to say, but you have more in common with that Trump voter, that non-voter, than you do with the people you were trying to vote for. So get involved. Try to change that system. Be that change that you were claiming you were when you were saying we need to go out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
You saw what that did. Now it's time to try something different. Get out there, organize. If it's not joining an org, mutual aid organizations could use your help. If you have the means to do so, give. Do the fucking work. I do have one organization that I will talk about. It is Party for Socialism and Liberation. At least in Raleigh area, we are the Raleigh-Durham area. We are having a info session Sunday. I think it's at 2. It's either 1 or 2 p.m. at Mi Barrio in downtown Durham. Greensboro will be having it on A&T's campus at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. I think it's at the Student Union. I do not remember off the top of my head, but hey, follow me. I normally post this information on Instagram because that's the main social media platform that I have that my PSL chat, my PSL free branch is also on, because I'm not on Twitter. So that's normally where I'm posting information. I'm trying to spread that out further into other platforms, but that requires me remembering to do so. Let's see, coming up this week outside of that, I am thinking very long and hard about this, about coming back to streaming, because I realize I'm getting things done in a timely manner to where I could actually sit in my chair for several hours and stream. Also because the fact that I cannot fall asleep early in the evening and I need something to do.
There's a wonderful thing for that. There's a wonderful category for that, co-working.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like streaming games again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about streaming games again. Like I'm not really working on any projects right now. There's one. No, actually I finished that yesterday. I was upgrading my servers to Fedora 41. So I finished that yesterday. So that's out of the question. And that's kind of what made me think I could be streaming right now, but, excuse me, stay tuned for that, because again, people like to have meetings in the evening, and that's what kind of got me off of streaming. But that's enough for me, I think. I don't know. I don't think I have anything going on until next Thursday. Sin, what you got going on this week?
Friendsgiving. Because my former community building is actually getting to like spend time and know people and all of that. So being where the people are, and trying to build a network of people in such a way that someone will be able to take care of my cat if something happens to me. That being said, going to have some Friendsgiving time, and then get to see a friend who's hopefully going to be here from Georgia tomorrow, and hang out with them for the weekend and have an otherwise enjoyable time until next week. Maybe get some reading done. Maybe.
Oh yeah, speaking of reading, I've been reading at work. Take my lunch break. After I finish eating lunch, I have about like half an hour left, and then just sit there and read my books. I'm trying to finish up Palestine, Israel, and the U.S. Empire, because I really want to get to the socialist reconstruction before January 20th. So yeah, I'm finally reading again. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Was that it?
Oh no, you did interrupt. I was done saying the things. Although there's something to be said about how it is definitely felt that you were like, I can finally read, because I don't think people appreciate how much of a toll and weight on your brain all of this stuff is, when you're just like, I would very much like to be able to read, but I haven't been able to read in ages because my brain is on fire.
I mean,
just like the rest of the world.
I mean, okay, maybe
at least
subconsciously it may be on fire. But yeah, it's like in the evenings, I would rather be watching TV, playing a video game, sleeping, to where like at least at lunch, like, well, shit, I ain't got nothing else right now. Like I am in a building, and keep in mind, this is while I'm in the office. When I'm at home, yeah, at lunch, I am fucking watching TV. But yeah, at least when I'm in the office, when I'm in the cafeteria, like not talking to anybody because I don't know anybody. Yeah, I do get to just sit and, oh yeah, fuck Israel.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Kev.
Yes, sir.
You always got a lot going on the week. What you got?
Well, it's we are edging close to the brown bacchanal that is Thanksgiving, and I have been busy, both tidying up the house for not just possible visitors, which I don't assume that we will be having any visitors, even though I would love to host a wonderful Friendsgiving event with my mom, being in her pride of place as the Unimama that she is always is. She's everybody's mama. And to have, for those who are in need of, stern black mothering, for them to like bask in the grace of her motherness. That does not seem to be so. So it's just going to be me and her eating a lovely Thanksgiving dinner and just, spending our time together as we normally do by watching fall themed Hallmark movies, which kind of happened last year, but then we just kind of kept that going.
It's where the well-to-do city woman comes back to her small hometown thinking that she has to do everything, and she finds somehow the man of her dreams who's just like cutting wood in a shed somewhere, and he teaches her the value and magic that is Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You know what? You're not that far off. You're really not that far off. Like, so, or gives her basically purpose, and
it's like the antithesis of a Lifetime movie.
but more sanitized, but completely even more sanitized. Yeah. So we're probably gonna be watching those. But yeah, mostly the time it's just me getting ready for that, and then also shopping and getting much needed things for the house cheaper, and also finding that sweet lovable joy that I've been finding. I have also been rewatching some old comfort shows. I have restarted watching Oban Star Racers, which was one of my favorite.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, it was definitely a throwback. I was like, I didn't know I had access, but once I found them and I started watching them, I was like, yep, this is giving me life and love and energy, and of course, cleaning the house and tidying up, and also making plans for Christmas things as well. And just as you say about having reading, taking time to read, I'm looking at literally 2 of my manga that I'm trying to read, and I've had this one for about literally a month, and I haven't read this yet. But then I haven't read this one in a while, so I have to reread this because this took almost a year for them to produce. So I got to reread both of them. And so yeah, finding that time to like sit down and read, kind of like trying to find that time to read and whatnot. So yeah, that's always good. But yeah, also I am trying to do the things of like, I'm going to try to hold myself to the game buying freeze or the game acquiring freeze, because I have like there are a lot of games that I've amassed through either retail code, like retail review codes, cheap bundles, good sales, and just me being like, a game that I love came out, cool, I'm gonna get that. So now it's me being like, I am playing the backlog until the end of February and the beginning of March. So the end of February, which is my birthday month, that's when Wilds come out. And then the beginning of March, that's when 2 Point Museum comes out. And if you know me like you know me, we're gonna play that. So that also means we gotta finish up the hospital and campus DLC that we have not finished yet. So y'all about to see a lot of 2 Point in the coming days and weeks. So yeah. But for the course of this week, it is me hunting for cheap sweet potatoes and absolute and crisp celery, because I need that for next week. So yeah. And I'm done.
Dope. Well, I think that's it for us. Let me check the calendar. We've got one more regular show to do.
Yep.
And then we out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Take a week off.
Mm-hmm.
I guess do Thanksgiving. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here.
I won't. Just chilling.
I mean,
I mean,
if
when I say I'll be here, I mean home. I don't necessarily mean like on the internet. I will be home.
I mean,
yeah,
I mean, I'll be
I'm
home, but
I'm gonna be combination of like acquiring, cooking, prep, and saying so. And then that Thursday,
I get paid before Thanksgiving too. Yay!
and then Friday I got to go and like go out and then see if we can get some cheap poinsettias at Lowe's, because they always like to do the cheap because my mom would like to get the cheap poinsettias and so spread them around the house. But you know the way the corporate price gouging has become, I think we probably just need to get like 2 decent sized ones and just call it a day.
But yep. So one more show, then we're all for Thanksgiving, and we'll be back with Hollow Plays.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a full list. We already know what we're playing.
I have spoken to her, and I don't know where she's gonna win. I don't know if she's going to appear, but there's a good chance she may appear, may or may not. We're gonna hope, consider, but we don't know.
And given that, I guess in no particular order, the 4 games are Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shopping Together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. I forgot the other 2.
Unrailed.
That's
2?
right. Unrailed 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was Power Wash Simulator for
Yeah, it was
Game
gonna be
Awards.
for Game Awards. So
That way we can,
like,
not focus.
yeah, it's gonna be like Game Awards is gonna be on one side, and then Power Wash.
Yeah, I will figure the over. No, that overlay is just not happening. You'll just look. Don't just watch the Game Awards on one stream and watch us on the other. We'll have it on in the background.
Yeah, just 2 browsers. Open up 2 browsers.
Yeah, do that. I'm not configuring a thing where it's like Game Awards. So, yeah, I'm not doing that.
I mean, you can, but
I'll hit a button and it'll just switch between the 2. But
I mean, you really truly can. But yeah.
Or we could just stream the Game Awards and just like, look, we're just playing Power Wash Simulator in the background.
You know, that would also be fine too, because real talk, you could just make it
either one is a very, very passive thing that's happening.
I would truly say put Game Awards on the small end and then put Power Wash over it, and just be like, cool. And it's just like we all know what's happening on the end, and then we can be like, oh, cool. And
if
then,
Anka doesn't join us, I'll just put it in her box.
Yeah. So we shall see.
We'll figure
That's what I'm
out.
saying. I'm not saying she may or may not, because Anka is a well moisturized, wonderful person. But that person may or may not show up. But I'm just saying I have talked to her and I have heard a possibility of showing up.
Takal, you say follow her on Bluesky, but the level, the amount of time she spends on social media, I would miss her posts every time.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and host her. I'm gonna go follow her.
Post the link somewhere.
She might surprise me.
I'm pretty sure it's idiosinanka at bsky.social or idiosinanka.bsky.social. But yeah, if you find her, if you can post the link.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with all that being said, I'm gonna go check and see if my car has any pre-existing conditions.
Good chance it does.
I am fighting now. Again, now that I have money, I've resubscribed to that Blue Link service for Hyundai's, where I can do the remote start and shit. Tell me why I worked for a day and then they canceled the subscription and was like, "Yeah, we saw that you wanted to cancel it." It's like, no, the fuck I didn't. I would like to start my car when it's cold outside and let the heat turn on.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am some plebe. Got money now. I got access to adult money.
Hey, 14 hours ago. What?
Yeah, see, I love how Takal was like, follow her. But yeah, it's like she put one post up 14 hours ago, pinned it, and is not posted anything since.
But the fact that she is up 262.
263 now.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I'm just 262.
Hi, number 263 here. Maybe when she sees that we have followed, she knows that there are now eyes on it. It is like, all right, I guess I got to post something now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get up out of here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays. Of course, if you have watched the stream, you'd like to catch up on previous episodes, you can go to majors.house/TTT. If you'd like to catch the videos, majors.house/TTTvid. Of course, those links are going to be down in the description below or in the show notes, along with our socials and where you can reach us, including the Discord link where we talk about tech, gaming, and leftist shit. Don't come in there with the liberal bullshit. Don't come in there with no Zionist bullshit, because we ain't gonna have it.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, in order to get to the server, you have to sit there and answer a specific question to get into the server. That's how I'm keeping the bots out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who was in there before then, they ain't gotta worry about it. But you new folks, I'm watching you. Let's see, what else am I missing here? Of course, if you're watching this archive, you can catch us live each and every Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Not gonna say standard or daylight, because that changes depending on the day. Yeah, you can catch us here, twitch.tv/Major Linux, each and every Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I think that's it. Of course, on behalf of Sin, on behalf of Kev, on behalf of the GOAT, speaking board Mark Summers, Major Linux, twitch.tv/Major Linux. And all I've got left to say to you wonderful people is nobody's going to save us but ourselves now. More than
We all
ever.
we got.
We are all we have. Kamala ain't coming back for you. She gone. It's done. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
We all we got now.
She's living her best life right now.
Yeah.
All the way over there.
Mm-hmm. Or will be on January 20th, 21st.
Yep.
But yeah, we all we got. And of course, with all of that, with that terrible bombshell, I love you. And peace. Ow.
Wakanda forever.